Hey gang, it's JC. This is the Daily Dose for Thursday, April 7th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. Don't forget to check out our archives at the top of the page, and of course eye candy along the bottom strip here. And a reminder, the Albert Pujols piece is going to air on 60 Minutes this Sunday. We found that out earlier in the week, and we had that exclusively. We had it first. And so there you go. All right, you got that? You got that? All right, so let's get to the news here. The Dish Network paid $320 million to acquire Blockbuster. Actually, they only paid $20 million. The other $300 million came in late fees. Kesha has invited Britney Spears to go skinny dipping. Geez, you know, after the BP oil thing, I just don't think you can do that to the environment. I'm going to talk a little bit about American Idol. So here we go. We're coming down to the bottom, whatever it is here, or the top, whatever it is, as the case may be. Let's just go in the order that they took them last night. And by the way, I watched this show religiously, Triple C, and I never miss it. Been watching it since the beginning. Skipped one season early on, but have seen everything else. So I'm getting good at this. Not only figuring out who the best singer is, but also who the people who vote on the show, you know, who vote for their favorite people and stuff like that, are likely or least likely to vote for. So here's my assessment right now based on a lot of things. Let's start with Jacob. He's not going to win. Record companies are going to love him, though. This R&B kid, black kid, is going to do very well with his career. They'll gobble him up, but he will not win. Haley does Janis Joplin last night and is growling for some reason through the entire song. Get out of here. You should have been gone weeks ago. Let's talk about Casey, the kid with the beard who played the big bass, the stand-up bass, doing Who'll Stop the Rain with the wrong facial expressions. He's smiling at the crowd, smiling into the camera. That's not a happy song. The facial expressions don't go with the song. Get out of here. Lauren, who's saying, you make me feel like a natural woman. When you're singing Aretha, you better know what you were doing. And she picked a good song, and she did okay, but just okay. Now I'm going to skip over and go to Scotty, the country kid. Get off the show. All right? Don't take this the wrong way, but I hate you. Get off the show. The country record labels will gobble this kid up. He'll have a big, long career, and that's fine. And I don't listen to country music. I don't have to see him again. Going to skip over again. Stefano, over. You're done. Paul, talentless. Completely talentless unless you count smiling as a talent, okay? But this kid cannot sing. Get him off the show. Let's talk about James. Did not help himself last night with the ballad. Did While My Guitar Gently Weeps, cried at the end. That's nice and everything. And then you got Pia. Now, Randy Naughton this morning on Fox 2 said that she thought that Pia will end up in the bottom three tonight. That is an insane statement to make because I'm going to tell you right now, the top two, when this whole thing is over within, 2 months or something, or a month, whatever, the top two are going to be Pia and James. And after thinking about this for a long time, still anything can happen. I don't have a high confidence level on telling you who's going to win, but I think it's going to come down to Pia and James. I thought up until last night that James might win it all. I'm going to go with Pia right now. On this date, on this particular date, I'm saying that, on April 7th. But it's going to come down to Pia and James. And the idea that Pia would be in the bottom three after her performance of River Deep Mountain High last night, the Phil Spector amazing thing by Tina Turner, also the Supremes and Four Tops did it too. Just an amazing, amazing performance last night. All right, if you're a fan of 30 Rock, enjoy the show while it's on because it's about to end. Tina Fey is pregnant with her second child. Alec Baldwin says that next season will be his last year on the show, and then that's probably going to be it for 30 Rock. And while that's going on, Katrina Bowden, who plays Tina Fey's assistant on 30 Rock, you know, the really pretty blonde, just was named Esquire's sexiest woman alive, beating last year's winner, Brooklyn Decker. She's a handsome female. Doesn't get to do a lot on the show. We had another St. Louis connection here today because I think it was about 10 days ago we had Karina Smirnoff from Dancing with the Stars on. She's from St. Louis, went to school in Webster Groves, and she's going to be in Playboy in May. Well, funny that didn't come up in my conversation with her. All right, I don't know what's going on the Today Show or what's going on at CBS, NBC. We know that Katie Couric is about done with the CBS Evening News. Yesterday we heard that Meredith Vieira was going to probably retire from the Today Show, maybe, at the end of this season, something like that. Now we hear that Matt Lauer is stepping down too. He's still got a little left on his contract, though. He's signed through December of next year. And there's already speculation that maybe Matt Lauer is quitting and going to try and team up with Katie Couric with some sort of reuniting of the Today Show, but in some sort of different format. And these people all make a gazillion, million, $1 trillion. I sounded like I was 11 years old there. But I mean, Meredith Vieira makes $11 million a year, and I think Matt Lauer makes more than that. Let's talk a little bit about Donald Trump, who has become the golden boy of the Republican Party, at least the segment of the Republican Party that has been hijacked by the nutcases. You know, if you're a Democrat, fine. If you're a Republican, fine. I don't agree with the Republicans, but I can also see some of their points, and I think it's a little misguided. I think it's wrong, and I also think you have to look around and see who you're in the same party with. And when you look around the Republican Party, I would be scared to look around and see who's sort of standing in my group, under my tent. A lot of scary Democrats too, scarier Tea Party people, but that's not the point. The point here is that Donald Trump has just gone nuts with the birthers lately. He keeps insisting that Obama doesn't have a birth certificate, so he's in with that group right now. But if you thought that his attempt at a presidential run was a joke, listen to this. New poll of Republican primary voters by NBC and the Wall Street Journal has found that Mitt Romney is the front runner, 21% of the vote, but tied for second place, Mike Huckabee and Donald Trump. Third place, by the way, actually fourth technically, Newt Gingrich with 11% and Sarah Palin bringing up her bodacious rear at 10%. The Grammy people have just announced, hey, guess what? We've seen the light. There's too many damn categories, too many awards. Last year they gave out 109. They've trimmed that down to 78. The most notable change is that they did away with having to have separate categories for male and female artists. So, for instance, the male and female vocal categories were combined into solo performance in the pop, R&B, rock, and country genres. They've also now knocked down the R&B awards from 8 down to 4. Now, if they could just do something about the fact that the show stinks, then they'd have something. I've never served on jury duty. I don't even think I've ever been called. And if I ever was called, I've often joked on the air about the fact that I would just sit there when they start, asking you questions and sort of going through the vetting qualification process. I always said that I would when they came to me, I'd say, well, I can tell if a person is guilty or innocent just by looking at them. At which point I'd be sent home. Well, just be careful. Because I didn't know you could do what this guy did. In New York, a woman tried to get out of jury duty. When they gave her the questionnaire, she wrote all this racist stuff all over it. Just said she didn't like African Americans, Hispanics, Haitians because you always hear about them doing something on the news. So the judge gets pissed off, thinks that she is deliberately just trying to get out of jury duty. And so instead of dismissing her, says she now has jury duty indefinitely. Which is, I didn't think you could do that, and I'm surprised that you can, by the way. And I don't like the fact that a judge can do that. Is that what they call an activist judge? All right, speaking of the government, and the jury system and the court system is a part of the government, we're hearing that, obviously, like everybody else, that maybe the entire government is going to be shut down on Friday. If that happens, your tax refund could be delayed. There could be a long delay in newly eligible people applying for Medicare. The police would still be operating, but recruitment, hiring, and even some work on nonviolent crimes would go away. The national parks would close immediately. I guess they would have to close the arch grounds. No more rides to the top. And there would be long delays if you need a passport or a visa. And also NASA would have to stop preparing for any future missions. All right. Billy Crystal is sort of making the rounds. I like Billy Crystal. I think he's funny. He's making the rounds because he did one of these Funny or Die things. They did a parody of When Harry Met Sally. And he's got Helen Mirren on there now. And it's Rob Reiner is on it. And I watched it, and it's just that funny. It's a great idea. It's a terrific premise to say, okay, Sally died, so Harry's got to move on, and he meets a woman played by Helen Mirren, and then they turn into vampires. And it's a great idea. It's not funny. So I was going to use it on the eye candy feature, and after looking at it twice, I was like, I'm sorry, it doesn't qualify. It's just not funny. And I like Billy Crystal, and he's running around saying a lot of funny things in the late night talk shows, but I don't think the thing is funny. So for eye candy today, instead, You ever want to know how much sugar is really in all the food you eat? Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter because I did it anyhow. So I have like what they did is they, here, I'll hold this up here. What they did is they like show you a bottle or a can of Coca-Cola, and then they put they put sugar cubes next to it to show you how much sugar is actually in each one of these drinks. Look at that big thing of Coke. Look at how many sugar cubes are on that thing. And they did it with breakfast cereals and yogurt and Jell-O and candy and all that. And then you get like something like this. Here's the Cheerios and Special K. Cheerios and Special K. Eat that, and nothing happens to you because look, but still, it seems like a lot of sugar to me. Put that in there. So there's like there must be 2 or 3 dozen pictures that I put up on eye candy today to show you how much sugar you're actually ingesting when you eat a lot of these popular foods. So go ahead and check that out. All right, so that's your eye candy. That's your daily dose for Thursday, April 7th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. Of course, we are on the air with Trish Gazelle every day on the Big 550 KTRS from 10 in the morning until 1 o'clock, and we do a good show. We hope you will join us. In the meantime, that's it. The Daily Dose is done. We've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.